Welcome to CountryMusiX. Country Music Awards shows need a major change. Artists from outside the traditional Nashville scene are dominating the charts and winning over fans. But these awards still promote mainstream radio stars like Nate Smith and Thomas Rhett. To boost ratings, they also bring in pop stars, which feels like a desperate move. It's time for these shows to recognize the true talent and popularity of the newer, independent artists shaping today's country music. The 2024 ACM Awards on Thursday, May 16th, featured performances from pop stars Post Malone, Avril Lavigne, Gwen Stefani, and Noah Kahan. While it's customary to have a pop star perform at a country music awards show, having four in one night was nearly unprecedented, even if some performances were collaborations. With 17 announced performers in total, nearly a quarter of the performances at the 2024 ACM Awards were by pop stars, not including pop-leaning country acts like Thomas Rhett and Kelsea Ballerini. This happened at a time when genuine country music performers were more popular than ever. If there was ever a year when country music didn't need to pander to pop and should have showcased more homegrown talent, it was this year. At the time of the 2024 ACM Awards, the three most popular artists in country music were Morgan Wallen, Bryan, and Luke Combs, who were also among the most popular artists in all of music. However, there was a significant gap before reaching artists like Chris Stapleton and Jelly Roll. Despite their popularity, none of these top three artists perform at the 2024 ACM Awards. At the time of the ACM Awards, the top three country music artists, Morgan Wallen, Bryan, and Luke Combs, were also among the most popular in all of music. However, none of them were scheduled to perform. All three were on massive tours and likely didn't have time for rehearsals. Additionally, with the ACM's declining relevance in recent years, they may not have seen much value in performing at the event. The ACM Awards have lost significant value by not being broadcast on a major television network, streaming on Amazon instead. While most Americans have high-speed internet, the service is spotty in many rural areas where country music is most popular. This shift has further diminished the awards' reach and impact. Holding the ACM Awards at the Dallas Cowboys practice facility, the Star in Frisco, instead of a proper arena, gave the event a cost-effective feel despite the venue's size and glitz. Meanwhile, CBS and Viacom went all out for their CMT Awards, highlighting the contrast in production investment between the two events. Despite being a nearly 60-year-old institution, the ACM Awards found themselves overshadowed by the younger, video-focused CMT Awards. The ACM's move to Amazon made them out of sight, out of mind, particularly for the older audience who typically tune in to such shows. Post Malone found himself at the top of the country charts with Morgan Wallen in I Had Some Help, the #1 song in the genre. The track made history by breaking records for debut streams and receiving a staggering 167 ads on country radio in its first week, marking it as the second most successful debut week ever. There was speculation about whether Post Malone would perform I Had Some Help with Morgan Wallen at the ACM Awards. Some wondered if Wallen would be left sitting in the audience while Post Malone performed alone to avoid controversy. It raised questions about whether Posty would shy away from performing the most popular song in country music at the time. Last year, the ACM Awards collaborated with the Black Music Action Coalition, a group focused on addressing systemic racism in the music industry. The ACMs held an exclusive event called Charley Pride, It's Just Me, Celebration of Inclusion. The event honored 16 individuals who embodied Charley Pride's legacy in country music, recognizing their leadership in hope, advocacy, and innovation. The Black Music Action Coalition was notably involved in the aftermath of Morgan Wallen's N-word incident. Despite Wallen donating $165,000 to the organization, they collaborated with Rolling Stone to claim he hadn't fulfilled his $500,000 donation pledge to black charities. In reality, Wallen had already fulfilled $400,000 of the pledge, with the remainder completed later that year. Following the incident, the Grand Ole Opry faced criticism for allowing Morgan Wallen to perform a duet with his regular co-writer, Ernest. Additionally, at the People's Choice Country Awards in October 2023, Wallen won major accolades like Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and Concert Tour of the Year. However, he wasn't even mentioned during the broadcast, let alone recognized for his wins. Regardless of whether Morgan Wallen performed or not, he wasn't scheduled to. He was still nominated for Entertainer of the Year, Male Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and other awards. Wallen had previously won Male Artist of the Year in 2023, so his presence couldn't be completely avoided. Why is Post Malone performing at all? Instead of bringing in pop stars to round out the performance lineup, why not showcase the rapidly rising independent stars who are quickly surpassing the popularity of country's second-tier mainstream performers? This trend is evident in many festivals this year, with bands like the Turnpike Troubadours, the Red Clay Strays, Billy Strings, and Charley Crockett appearing on mainstream festival rosters because they draw bigger crowds than many major label performers. Megan Moroney was a big name in country music at the time, winning the ACM's New Female Artist of the Year. However, she wasn't scheduled to perform at the awards. Instead, she appeared at a red carpet event. Nate Smith won New Male Artist of the Year, and the relatively unknown duo, Tiger Lily Gold, took home the award for Best New Duo, or Group of the Year, reflecting the preferences of major labels in pushing certain artists forward. Tiger Lily Gold boasted 946,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, while the Red Clay Strays had over 5 million. However, despite their popularity, the Red Clay Strays, not being part of the Music Row major label radio single pipeline, were overlooked and didn't even receive a nomination. Only 3 duos groups received nominations instead of the usual 5. This might suggest that the ACMs aimed to avoid highlighting alternative, potentially superior options outside the mainstream system, possibly fearing further loss of market share to them. The Red Clay Strays, Sierra Ferrell, Charley Crockett, 2-time Grammy winner Molly Tuttle, and other independent country artists were on the rise and setting the pace in country music. They didn't rely on the ACM Awards for recognition. Rather, it was the ACMs that needed them. These artists represented a new wave of talent in country music, and if the ACMs didn't acknowledge them, they risked losing their relevance in the industry. Bryan stood as the second most popular artist in country music behind Morgan Wallen for the past 2-3 years. Despite his significant influence and popularity, Zach wasn't nominated for Entertainer of the Year, Male Artist of the Year, or Album of the Year. Overlooking such a prominent and potentially influential artist wasn't a strategy that would lead the ACMs to their desired destination. The landscape of country music is evolving rapidly, with independent artists gaining traction and reshaping the genre. Award shows like the ACMs, CMAs, and CMTs need to acknowledge this shift and embrace the diverse talent emerging outside of the traditional Music Row establishment. By recognizing and celebrating these innovative voices, they can better reflect the preferences of the country music listening public and ensure their continued relevance in the ever-changing industry. What are your thoughts on this topic? Feel free to share in the comments below. That's all for today's video, folks. Until we meet next time, take care.